Make a bad self-deprecating pun about myself as my husband is waving from the back of the audience.
Lonely nerds marrying weird things. Now he's gone.
Yeah.
So, well,
it was gonna be funny.
It was gonna be fun. Sorry.
you know, normally, any of us could make that joke, arguably. But here's the thing. All of us have advantages in our respective nuptial blisses, and that being that, we've got actual flesh and blood people involved.
True.
The story that I'm bringing to us today comes from Japan, because where else would it come from?
Of course.
Oh,
yeah, you got me there.
There's a service that is offering to let, through the power of VR, guys can get married to virtual anime girls. They can show up in their tux, they can put on their VR goggles, go through the ceremony, and there's even someone there with a little board shaped like lips for them to kiss at the end of the ceremony.
Oh. It got worse.
I think it's a flashlight.
That's in a different spot, come on.
That's...
Apparently this show just went from like...
I don't know if there's a VR honeymoon. I didn't want to find out more about it. But I wanted to discuss, where are we going as Chobits marches closer to a horrifying reality?
So, I think in matters such as these, it's very easy to jump to judgment. Even as we are marginalized in our society, it's very easy for us to judge other people. What some of you don't know is that my husband is a sex therapist. There's stories I've heard that I cannot tell, but there's like a saying in the sex therapy industry, don't yuck other people's yums. Okay. And I think it's a really beautiful concept, because I think that anything taken out of the context of knowing someone could be considered weird. You know, all of us have to go through like, hey, what do you do for fun? Well, I spend $500 and probably as many hours dressing as a cartoon, and then I go and I compete, and I pay more money to compete in a contest, and sometimes I win. Do you win money? No, I get a plastic fucking trophy, like
or a piece of paper.
Right, or I get a certificate, right? And I think someone could take that out of context and look at that and say that's sad, or that's weird, or that's nerdy. But from the inside, and from inside a community where that's acceptable, it's celebrated, right? That's why we're here. And so these people, I mean, it's just an extension of, real girl dolls, and the girls who text. They get paid to text and send pictures of themselves and be someone's like virtual girlfriend and all these things. I mean, I think like what's the
sex workers industry?
What's the human condition, right? It's loneliness, and so like, what do we find that fixes that? And if that's what fixes that for you, like,
that's cool.
Are we possibly sidestepping the objectification of actual women with objects?
I mean, that's a whole complicated other thing. Objectification and marriage, at least in this context, it's hard to see how they relate to each other.
Right.
What does the anime girl look like? Is she, well, yeah.
I don't know if there are options.
Maybe you should customize it.
It's also a very valid question just in general, because unfortunately, depending on who you are as a person, some people are lucky enough to find someone who's just like, hey, you're quirky and weird, I accept your quirky and weirdness, like, hands down. Other people, they're just like, well, I'm quirky and weird. People are just like, yeah, son, you quirky and weird, don't you come near me. Where, it can be viewed as like, oh, well, this is sad, this is disappointing. But in like a culture that doesn't allow for, people to kind of figure out who they are, what they need, it's like allowing them to be like, hey, this legitimately makes them happy. And like maybe their 2D waifu is actually a 2D dude, or whatever the male equivalent is, where it's like a dude
It's the dude food.
Because it's like, come on, they could be wanting to get married to like a, butch, beefy dude, and are just don't know how to understand and handle communicating with people. Because, face it, we're all weird. We're all hard to communicate and understand.
Right, and is it the step beyond a video game like Mass Effect where you're choosing your partner?
And you
or-
can
Right.
basically shoot anybody.
Right, but it's, I guess that it's virtual reality and that you wear a tux and you kiss a board, which is a little weird admittedly. But like, it's not so far of a stretch beyond things that we find acceptable.
Right. All right. This has been way more enlightening than I thought it would be, and I'm a-okay with that.
We're, as I said, we're weird, but we're at least entertaining, and overall, us as a whole, we want to just try and promote positivity, like within the nerd community, the convention community, because the outside world is full of negative things, and even sometimes within the cosplay community is full of negative things, so it's not really worth it to dwell upon the negativity and to try and put other people down. It's okay if you don't understand it, it's okay if you don't get it, it's not your thing. And it's one of those, is it within, does it make sense? Is it within like legal and safety things where it's just like, okay, so it's like people who have
Is
body
anyone
count.
getting hurt by this?
Yeah,
That's like, at the end of the day, that's the question. Who is this hurting?
And if it's not hurting anybody, it's like, well, I think you're different carrying your body pillow of, this popular video game character in a sexual pose, but it's not hurting me, it's not hurting you, and actually you're supporting artisans who are creating these things for these purposes. So all around, it's like you are helping other people. And again, those things don't, it doesn't hurt anyone, and that's the big thing, is that at the end of the day, no one is hurt. The person at the end is happy and satisfied. Who are we to really judge them on that? It's like, you like Gundam, I love to sew, she loves making films. And people can be like, well, you're weird, you like giant robots, well, you sew. Who knows how to sew? Why don't you just buy new stuff? And they'd be like, why do you make films? You're a girl.
TY
Yeah. It's that type of idea, is we all have things that make us happy. And at the end of the day, it's like, I got to do the thing I like, I'm happy, nobody's hurt, and I get to do great things at the end.
Well, and I think that there's like a whole can of worms socially in regards to like marriage in Japan that's not worth unpacking, but it's like that. I mean, also like we always have to keep in mind when we're viewing something culturally through our own lens versus
Right.
through the lens of that culture where those things are viewed very differently.
Yeah. So basically, long story short,
Don't yuck other people's things.
yes.
I love that.
It's great, isn't it?
I'm going to share that with as many people as I can, which I have the ability to do.
Thank you,
What just happened? I'm
Oh,
so
man.
sorry.
I was hoping you were just gonna anyway, and then just totally throw something
So let's
out.
just get
Well, on that note, I really think like the logical question to bounce off of that is, do you guys have a fictional waifu or husband?
I actually have, we both have real husbandos, and I actually have my real life waifu. She's my cosplay waifu. She's part of Folklore, but I'm gonna say my two. Like I can tell you mine in like high school. My big love was Koji from Generator Gal, because basically he was voiced by Jay Hickman, who had like a lisp.
We got to listen to him sing New York, Miami, Iowa once.
Yeah. So basically, like, he was my jam back in the day, and when I was going through stuff with my parents, I found my, stash of Generator Gal Dojinshi, and I'm just like, yes, those are one things I'll never, ever get rid of. So he was, my thing back in the day, but now my, 2D waifu is Mitsuru from Persona 3, because my husband and I have, a small shrine in our house to her.
Except.
I don't know that I have a husbando or a waifu. I think mine is just probably filmmaking or theater. It takes up a great deal of time and a great deal of devotion that doesn't always go in my actual husband direction in the way that it should. So, I mean, I directed Beauty and the Beast last year and spent literally 10 months worried about it.
So why did you auto-tune Emma Watson? I'm really confused. That was a questionable choice on my part.
You didn't hear it before the auto-tune.
The dial only goes up to 11. I couldn't turn it any farther.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think maybe not a waifu, but a passion that takes up a great deal of my attention is theater and film.
So, V, like we mentioned a couple times that you're a filmmaker. Can you tell us a little bit more about just what's been on your plate recently?
Oh, so much. Well, I directed Beauty and the Beast this spring. I'm editing on a bunch of stuff right now. A friend's feature called Fragmented. I just had a big editing day on that. Single Gay Superhero went up online this spring. It's on YouTube. I would urge you all to check it out. It's hilarious.
Just click it. Also in the doobly-doo, go watch it. I laughed very hard.
Good.
It was.
I'm working on post-production for Witch, and I'm in pre-production for a couple things that I've been hired onto for money. A film called Rachel about World War II, and a film called The Chairman that's sort of like an 80s sci-fi office thriller thing. So lots of...
Some short you did that you're going to be posting on right now too.
Oh, Code Green is a film about anorexia.
There's another one.
That I'm in post on. It's a short. I don't know what
It's the one with the kid that graduates high school.
Oh, Tyler.
There we go.
There's a sci-fi we did called Tyler that is in post-production right now also. So a lot of post-production, and then I'm trying to take some of my love for live theater further, and I'm teaching an acting class for the first time, which has been very cool.
You do a lot of stuff.
Vanessa, I think I'm gonna speak for the audience when I say, do you sleep? Like, how do you stay I'm gassed or flat. I can't even.
If you cut her now, she'll bleed.
You're just coffee? Yeah.
Like, because like I can barely manage to work like a job, make YouTube videos, and then pretend that I'm funny for this. And then like it's like I'm making 17 films, a theater project, and I'm dressing as a character from a 90s anime only 3 other people remember. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like...
Well, I'm really fortunate that have been able to, for the most part, turn freelance film into my job.
Right.
I don't have a day job anymore, which has been new this year, and I'm still working on getting that regular enough, but taking that 40 hours out of the equation helps a lot. And besides that, I'm an extrovert, and so I get energy from being around people, and particularly like working on things with people. I'll get super energized by that. So it doesn't exhaust me the way that it does some people, just to be around people and participate in that. At the end of like 3 weeks straight of doing that, I don't want to see anybody's face, and I want to hide and sleep for 24 hours, but I think that coming at it, a lot of people in this community are more introverted, and picturing being around people all the time and working on things all the time and managing people all the time, there's a level of exhaustion that just doesn't come into play for me from that. So
just all the props. I cannot even begin to comprehend that kind of a life, but I respect very much that you're so capable.
Thank you.
And I mean, I know, and I don't want to sound like I'm BSing here, because I mean, I've established that these are 2 people I know very well, but speaking sincerely as a critic, I really enjoy Vanessa's work. And I strongly encourage you guys to just click the link in the description, check out Single Gay Superhero, check out some of her other stuff, because it's good. It's
also
good.
My feature Keepsake, which we did a while ago, it won Finest Minnesota Feature in a film festival this year, and it's going up on Amazon probably in a month or so.
So there's
nice.
There's a lot of avenues to watch all of her work, and honestly, between both of us, we do a lot of stuff with very, very little time.
Also, he gave her his phone, which is an old film of mine. It's a feature-length film. It's a nerdly romantic comedy. It's hilarious. It is on YouTube for free. I would recommend checking that out as well.
It's entertaining, and you get to watch me be a
horrible bitch.
Yep, I'm literally the bitch in that role. So I do suggest watching it. Watch us just kind of make fools of ourselves in all the right ways, and also just support. It's like buying that body pillow from that artist in Artist Alley. support locals.
Did you just compare my friends to
They're supporting
friends
you.
anymore?
No, it's the idea of supporting artists with their work.
Yes.
That's more the thing. And honestly, if any of the characters like Guy end up in a body pillow in Artist Alley, I'll consider that a weird, awkward success. Right?
Yeah.
Awkward, weird.
Stupendous Man's more likely to end up on a body pillow than Guy.
No, I want that.
I don't want either of those things. But actually, it was really cool. Elliot, who plays Stupendous Man in Single Gay Superhero, was recognized by like one person from Convergence as Stupendous Man from Single Gay Superhero. It was hilarious.
That's awesome.
To be fair, it was like a guy who helped me with some of the audio, but it was still funny.
That's really well. I think we've all learned a lot tonight.
Yeah, we're special people. So obviously, if you see us at any convention in the future, please feel free to say hi, come talk to us. We might not regale you with quite as fun stories as we've been saying tonight, but our biggest thing is we love meeting new people. We love talking shop about cosplay. She loves to talk about movies and just basically any theatrical anything.
I have no recollection as to how I even befriended you guys. In the
That's
first
actually-
place. I remember being peripherally aware of you, but I don't remember actually befriending
And the
you.
funny thing is that 2006, you keep mentioning, I wasn't there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But
Wow.
I was.
So wow.
Me and Katie.
So my memory is super bored.
It's pretty bored.
Don't trust anything I remember. That's the next thing we need to learn. Don't lick markers. Don't sniff markers.
Remember to don't pee on your pants, but pee on your underwear.
Pee on your underwear, that's okay.
And don't trust Nick's memory.
And don't yuck other people's yums.
Yes, and don't yuck other people's yums.
One of those things is not like the others. One of those things is good advice.
Not peeing on your pants. That's always
Well,
something.
pee. I'm not going to tell people to pee on their underwear. That's.
But like, if it comes down to it, if there's like pants or underwear, choose underwear.
Yes.
This interview is blown out of control. Where can we find your stuff on the internet?
All right. So us as a cosplay group, you can find us on Facebook as Verssen Werks. That's there. The link should be in the doobly-doo.
But it's VERSSENWERKS.
Because we're hoity-toity
Because
weirdos
we
and
started spelling that in high school, and it's
Yeah, high
cool to
school.
switch up your letters.
yeah, German. It actually is German, and I misspelled it way back when.
YouTube, my channel is Oxford, Film Cooperative. I have an IMDb page, Vanessa Horrocks.
And her film work is under the Oxford Film Cooperative on Facebook.
Yep.
The other stuff that I do as myself is actually under Thai Designs on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, pretty much most of the rest of the internet.
I bet there's an awesome place this weekend where they can see a lot of your work.
Yes, so if you're at the convention, all my stuff is in Artist Alley this weekend at Kitsune, and depending if you are at 2D Con in August in Twin Cities, I will also be selling there, and that one's a gaming convention, so hopefully I see you there. And if you come up to me and be like, oh my god, you're the person on the internet that told the story about peeing on the underwear, I'd be like, well, that's not
You say,
me.
no, that was her.
That was her.
Let us be clear.
But I'm so glad you watched that episode. When you come up to me and be like, you're the person that said it's okay to pee on your underwear but not your pants, I'm like, yes, that was me.
Do they get a 10% discount if they mention the story?
I don't.
What was that noise? There's a raptor in the audience. My God!
Well, you just keep,
It just keeps growing.
No, we're sorry. Honestly, the reason why we are so comfortable and candid with each other, and we've known each other for a very, very long time, and it's just one of our. I've known her for over
18
half.
years?
Yeah, we're trying to do the math and scaling. I've known her for over half her life, and it's just one of those things where you can't keep going where you're going without good people, and with any friendships or anything, you will have your ups and your downs. It's just doing your best to work through it. Some will, literally stay the course and be with you for life, and some people go in and out. But the biggest thing is learn from other people and just work on bettering yourself, and then also you will then not yuck other people's yums. Okay, come on, remember back to that.
Yeah.
That's That's the
Let's
overall
circle
lesson.
that like 8 more times. Like 8 more
Okay, so ready? Don't yuck other people's yums.
Alright.
You guys.
You can
are
like
terrible.
sign us off.
All right.
We keep-
Verssen Werks, thank you.
Are you
Bethany,
sure you want to
V,
make us?
thank you so much for coming on the show. For those of you who don't know, I kind of had to call in our friends here last minute, and they're just champs like that. So thank you. Big round of applause for
Big round of applause for Talk-Oyaki Entertainment.
I was listening to that. That's wrong. There we go. I'm sorry. I had to do the dumb thing. I had to literally do the round of applause.
I worked at a Boy Scout summer camp. That's not the first time anyone's done that.
Did they do it the other way too?
The Australian ones did. That was a toilet joke. All right, thank you guys. That's